Cells Part 2. In this video, I'll be talking about prokaryotes and eukaryotes, eukaryotic cell structure, and all of the organelles. Prokaryotes. Cells fall into two categories whether they have a nucleus or not: prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are smaller and simpler than eukaryotes. Their genetic material is not encased in a nucleus, but scrambled all around the cell. But they still carry out all the things that regular cells do. They reproduce, grow, and respond to the environment. Eukaryotes. Eukaryotic cells are generally more complex and larger than prokaryotic cells. They contain more structures and internal membranes, and most are highly specialized. Eukaryotes contain a nucleus that is separate from the rest of the cell. Some eukaryotes survive as unicellular organisms. Others form large, multicellular organisms like you. Plants, animals, fungi, and protists are eukaryotes. Eukaryotic cell structure. If you use a microscope, you can see the tiny parts that a cell is made up of. It looks impossibly complex, but scientists have classified them into different organelles. Organelles are tiny organs. Cell biologists classify eukaryotes into two major parts: the nucleus and cytoplasm. Nucleus. The nucleus contains nearly all the cell's DNA, and with it the coded instructions for making proteins and other important molecules. It is surrounded by a nuclear envelope which has thousands of little pores that allow material to go in or go out. The nucleus also contains chromosomes. These are a set of details that are passed on to the next generation of cells. Inside of the nucleus is the nucleolus, where ribosomes are made. Ribosomes. Ribosomes make proteins. Proteins are assembled on ribosomes. They are small particles of RNA and protein found throughout the cytoplasm. They make proteins from instructions that come from the nucleus. Cells that are active in protein synthesis are often packed with ribosomes. Endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is the site where lipid components of the cell membrane are assembled, along with proteins and other materials that are exported from the cell. Rough ER has ribosomes all over it. Golgi apparatus. Proteins in the rough ER are transported to the next organelle, Golgi apparatus. The function is to modify, sort, and package proteins and other materials from the endoplasmic reticulum for storage in the cell or secretion outside the cell. Lysosomes. Lysosomes are small organelles filled with enzymes. One job of it is to break down lipids, carbohydrates, and proteins into small molecules that can be used by the rest of the cell. They also remove any organelles that fail to do their job and also get rid of useless molecules. Vacuoles. Vacuoles store compounds within the cell that can be used later on in the cell's lifetime. They store water, salts, protein, and carbohydrates. In many plant cells, there is a single large central vacuole filled with liquid. The pressure of the central vacuole in these cells makes it possible to support leaves and flowers. Mitochondria. Mitochondria are the powerhouse of any cell. They make energy from chemical energy stored in food into compounds that are more convenient for the cell to use. They have two membranes, an outer membrane and an inner membrane that is folded up inside the organelle. Chloroplasts. Plants and some other organisms have chloroplasts. They are organelles that capture the energy from sunlight and convert it into chemical energy in a process called photosynthesis. Mitochondria and chloroplasts contain their own DNA because they descended from independent microorganisms. Chloroplasts also have a green pigment called chlorophyll. Cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton is the support structure of the cell. It gives the cell shape and internal organization by a supporting structure known as the cytoskeleton. It is a network of protein filaments that helps the cell to maintain its shape. The cytoskeleton is also involved in movement. Cell membrane. The cell membrane regulates what enters and leaves the cell and also provides protection and support. The composition of nearly all cell membranes is a double-layered sheet called a lipid bilayer. It gives it a flexible structure that forms a strong barrier between the cell and its surroundings. Some proteins form channels and pumps that help move material around. Cell wall. Cell walls are present in mostly plants but are also found in fungi, algae, and many prokaryotes. Cell walls lie outside of the cell membrane. Most cells are porous enough to allow water, oxygen, and other materials in. The main function of the cell wall is to provide protection and support. Thanks for watching!